All right, you guys, it is time for a US30 trading strategy. Today, we're going to be talking about a strategy that I think is really worth considering or looking into, especially if you like scalping, day trading, intraday trading, the US30, S&P 500, NASDAQ 100. Those indices, US indices, are very popular for people to trade. Today, I'm going to be showing you a momentum-based strategy, a breakout trading strategy for trading US30 specifically. So with that said, let's get into the video. Okay, so US30 is a monster. Let's just be completely honest. If you're looking at any of these US indices, they can be absolutely crazy. They can be going one way and then just reverse really hard. They can break out and trend for 3 days straight. There's a lot of factors when we look at trading these things. So how do we actually get involved with some of the big moves that we see happening in the US30? Because this, again, some of those moves are incredible, but if you're on the wrong side of them, it's no fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a strategy that hopefully will get you into some of these trades. And at the end of the day, I want to encourage you to go try this out on a demo account. Go do some back testing with this. And again, as always, do your due diligence before trying to implement anything in your trading. So with that said, let's take a look at this. The first thing I want you to notice is that you've got this big indicator here on the screen. This is called the previous day high and low. It was created by some individual. I can look it up. I can't remember their... Let me just search. So if I search favorites, I guess I should have probably saved this, but we can go previous day, high and low. And actually it's by Josh Trades. So you guys can grab this anytime you want. It's for free there on TradingView. I'm actually going to favorite. So I just added it to my favorites. So again, just search up previous day, high and low, and you can get this indicator add to your screen. Now, what this indicator is going to do is, if you stay to the end of the video, by the way, stay tuned because I'm going to get into the technicals of the strategy, but we've got to look at this tool first. So the style here, you can change this if you'd like. You can change it to red or green or whatever you want. I'm just leaving it by default to blue. And then the visibility here is up to you as well. If you want to adjust any of that, you can play around, but I have it literally just on the default settings. Now, what I want you to notice is that it draws these lines across the screen. Now, what do these lines tell us and how can we utilize them? Well, the lines are showing you it's in the name, the previous day's high and low. And the reason that this matters is that high and low breakouts are something very common in markets. So let's say, for example, we can take a look at, we'll look at this example here. Okay, so what this line is telling us, let's look at this scenario right here. This line here is showing the high of the previous day. So we can see that the line goes here. It basically showed that yesterday the high was here and the low was here, right? So it's showing us, if you're looking at this chart right here, imagine that you're looking at this chart right here and you're saying, okay, well, this is showing me that yesterday's high was here and yesterday's low was down here. Why that information might matter to you is that occasionally, if markets break out of these key levels, it can cause a little burst in momentum. And that burst in momentum is what we may be looking to capitalize on when trading the US30 here. So again, here's the low of the previous day. There's the low, right? Then we're looking for a breakout one way or the other. Doesn't matter which way, especially as a scalper, we are trying to get in, we're trying to get out, and we're trying to keep damages from blowing up the account, right? Of course, when you're trading US30, please be very careful trading this thing. It is a very quick way to blow accounts. If you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how to risk properly, I would highly encourage you to watch some of my other videos on risk management. But the next thing I want to talk about here is the actual entry of this strategy. How do we enter this trade to get us into a trade that may give us the high potential, high reward ratio relative to the risk that we're going to take? And where do we put a stop on our trade to limit the downside of this move? Well, let's talk about the entry first. What's up, guys? Real quick, I do want to cut into the video to remind you guys, if you're not already subscribed to our free email newsletter, we send out tips all the time on the US indices. And if you'd like some tips on the US indices, trade ideas, trading strategies, and more, there's a free link down below in the description to join us there inside of our email newsletter. Again, we send out stuff throughout the week that may be very helpful to you. So hit that link, join the free newsletter, and we'll see you there. The first thing I want to talk about is the entry criteria is so simple for this style. We've got the high and low. We are looking for a break and close outside of the high or the low of these candles. Okay. So again, yesterday's high is here. Yesterday's low is here. We are coming into this market and we're saying, okay, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything until this market makes a decisive move. Bam. This candle right here. We're going to zoom in because this is the important part. This candle right here would be what we could call a trigger entry. Okay. On the close of this candle and on the open of the very next candle, the idea here with this trading strategy would be a short right here. Okay. Now you might say, all right, there's the entry. Why does this entry make sense? Why would this make any sense at all? The idea is that a break of yesterday's close and a close outside of it here, by the way, we're using the 30-minute chart. You could also try and implement this on the 1-hour chart if you're a little bit more of a swing trader, or you could even try it on the 15-minute chart. Really, you're just looking for some sign by the bulls or the bears that shows us that, hey, yesterday's low was here, but today we're going lower. And that's the message. That's the idea behind this whole strategy. So let's say that you get a close outside of yesterday's low. That's telling us that bears were strong enough to say yesterday's low, that was yesterday's news. Now we're going lower. That's the theoretical idea. Does it work out perfectly every time? Absolutely not. But the idea is pretty straightforward. We're looking for a breakout, we're looking for a continuation, and we're going to use a fairly tight stop loss so that US30 doesn't blow up the account, right? Because again, very commonly does so if you're not careful. So how can we get into this trade? How can we maximize the profit? Where do we put a stop loss? Well, the way that I would use this if I'm approaching this sort of strategy is I'm going to use structure to the best of my ability, using my price action abilities to try and find a place to put a reasonable stop loss. Now, I don't really want this market to turn around much on me. If it starts to turn around on me, I've got to find a way to quickly exit the trade, because some of you guys may have known this about US30, but sometimes US30 will look really bullish and then just snap back the other way and change its mind dramatically. We're not going to be 100% perfect in the markets ever, so we need to accept that and we need to be prepared for inevitable times where things will just not go right. So what I've done here is I've marked a key level on the chart. Right? You've got support here very clearly. You've got support here clearly. Then price failed and went lower and finally got us into that trigger right here where we were able to enter the trade on the break and close outside of yesterday's low. Okay? Now, the stop loss for me would be just outside of that level. If price starts breaking back the other direction, which it very well could, I want to be very quick to try and cut the loss to limit the damages of the account. Now, of course, I'm using a small position size. I'm risking properly. Like I said, using those key position sizes is very important to any trading strategy. If you're YOLOing or going all in, you are inevitably going to blow your account. If you're risking 10%, 20% of your account on one single trade, it is almost a guarantee that in the long run, you will blow that account and you'll have to reload again with a new account. That's just the truth. People don't like to hear that. Now, the next point is that now that we're looking at this, we're saying, okay, bam, there's our entry, there's our stop loss, looks reasonable. What's the target look like? Well, you have a couple options here, but for me, if I'm looking to just get a quick move out of this, I'm looking at something like a 2-to-1. I'm looking for the breakout, I'm looking to get in, and I'm looking to ride this thing and hop out once that profit gets hit. Something like a 2-to-1 is a nice and fair risk to reward. You're looking at saying, hey, if I could just hit 50% of my trades or 45% of my trades, I'd be looking very profitable. So that's what I'm shooting for here in this idea. So again, I've used stop loss above my structure here. Basically, I've seen, hey, this level shows a nice little level of demand. It broke to the downside. I really don't want to see price reverse. If it does go against me much further than that, at that point, I will stop out of the trade. So let's go try some of these. We can keep going and see how this would have looked like. In fact, what we'll do here is another scenario. What we'll do is we'll actually use the replay function on TradingView just so we can see this in action. So here we go. This is a perfect example of the trade in action. So you're looking at the market, you're looking at the 30-minute chart and you're saying, hey, not a lot's going on. Yesterday's high was here. Yesterday's low was here. I've got nothing to do here. There's no entry criteria today, and there's no need for me to place any trades because we're not moving yet. So what we can do is we can just say, okay, keep an eye on the markets, maybe check in every once in a while. If it starts to, oh, what is this? That, my friends, is a close outside of yesterday's low, right? There's yesterday's low. We just broke it. The market may be looking to head lower. Is it a guarantee that it's headed lower? No, but it is a pretty good idea that, hey, sellers are very strong here. And if you're willing to, if you like the fundamentals, the technicals, whatever reasoning that you personally choose to take the trade, if you really like the price action and you say, it's worth the risk to me, I'm going to take this short. Then you look at something like this, right? You say, okay, on the next bar, I'm in. Whatever the price is, I'm looking to go with it. And I'm saying, bam, there's my entry. Now, where's the stop loss go? Remember, same concept. We really don't want to see price reverse much more than where we were yesterday. So maybe something like this, right? There we go. And remember, I'm shooting for a 2-to-1. If you're more aggressive, maybe you're going for a 3-to-1. If you're more patient, really, or maybe you're more aggressive and you're just going for a quick 1-to-1. That might be something that you play around with as well in your back testing. But either ways, you can see in this case, that actually would have stopped us out. That would have been a little bit painful, not gonna lie. But again, maybe that's the point of making this video. You've got to see some trades like this to learn what you should and shouldn't do. But anyways, yeah, the idea is still there. So even though that would have been a losing trade, the idea of catching the break and trying to find good ways to enter it, that's the point. So again, we can just kind of go along here and we can kind of see what things do next. So here's a new day. So again, nothing to do here. No entry criteria on this day, at least for now. We tried to go higher, but we weren't able to close outside. So again, we've got nothing to do here. We can keep going and see if the next day brings us anything. And bam, that didn't close. This did close. So let's see if this one would have worked better. In this case, bam, we could put stops. Let's use structure to our advantage. We'll go here. There we go. Put that stop loss just a little bit higher. 2-to-1. And let's see if we could have caught anything on this one. And again, it's not about winning every single day. It's just about catching a good move. And there it is. And so that move would have paid for that loss. This move would have paid for two losses, one loss. So we had 2 wins, 1 loss, right? So that's pretty good. And this is what I want to encourage you guys to do. Whatever you choose to do, you should very much practice it in your back testing. You can use the replay function on TradingView, or you can, you can use the TradingView version without paying for the full version. So yeah, but my goal with saying this is that whatever you do, you should test it, of course. And the idea here with this strategy is we are looking for momentum to carry us into a profitable trade. The nature of this market is very much an emotional beast. The market will trend all of a sudden one way, like crazy, right? And so when we look at this thing, you can see it's very frequently occurring where you get, hey, there's the close outside, a little bit of delay, but then bam, pushes up to the upside. You go forward here a little bit, no trading on this day. This would have been a complete skip. No trades on that day, right? Which some people aren't ready for that. They don't want to not trade for an entire day. Here's a losing trade. You can see that entry signal would have been a loss, right? Because we closed outside, price reversed. So it's not going to be a perfect entry. Nothing really is. Here's a beautiful entry, right? This one would have been absolutely amazing. It would be fairly simple to get 2R on that kind of a move, right? So beautiful little trade there. Here's one that probably would have not worked out too much. But remember, you don't have to win every single one. You've just got to be looking for the right moves, capturing that 2R, 3R, whatever you choose to look into. And again, just go with the flow. There's one closed outside, bam, kept going. Nice little 2R there. Here's one this one never closed out until here. Maybe you got a 2. Well, actually, no, you probably wouldn't, because remember, their entry would be here, so that would probably be a loss. right? And we can just go bar by bar, test things out. Maybe you want to add another filter. Maybe you add a trend filter. You add a moving average to the idea, right? If all 3 moving averages are trending up, then I'm looking for buys. If all 3 moving averages are trending low, right? Maybe this is your criteria. Maybe that would have gotten you into this trade, right? And you could have rode down to the, multiple good trades. There's, a winning trade here, a winning trade here, right? Beautiful opportunities there to the downside, just riding the trend. And that might have kept you out of some of the ones that were not so good, right? So that's my point, is I want to leave you with this. The US30 is really, really interesting to watch, especially on a breakout of the day. It's always an interesting move. The whole market seems to watch it, and it causes these really big occasional moves that happen. I mean, look at this move right here. That's an aggressive sell-off. These are 30-minute bars and you hardly had any break. So to catch those sort of moves can be account changing, that's for sure. So I do want to encourage you, of course, whatever you do, don't risk huge, don't be silly with your trading. Please be careful out there. And with that said, guys, I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll see you back in the next one. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.